it was just today, a report commissioned by one of our main judicial bodies saying that governments should now consider letting Aboriginal defendants in courts give them the special right to be heard by a jury where half are themselves Aboriginal. Now, this extraordinary idea to bring racial division even into the jury system has been backed by a Northern Territory Supreme Court judge. And this is the work of two University of New South Wales researchers. One is a professor who actually signed a petition backing the voice, of course, and Charlie Crittenden, who identifies as Aboriginal, allowing her to win a scholarship for Aboriginal students and to get a job as an Indigenous research cadet at the university. That's how this race industry works. Joining me is Warren Mundine, a businessman and a leader of the No campaign. Warren, thank you so much for joining us. You studied law at university, a jury for Aboriginal defendants, 50-50 Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal. Your verdict?
Look, we're going down this crazy race line again. Look, I just find this, we're just getting madder and madder by the day. And you're right, in regard to the voices, one of the reasons I rejected as well. I've got 4 articles I've got coming out. One was on last Friday, and then there's 3 leading up to the voice to the referendum on the 14th of October, and it's a critique of what a interesting name, Document 14, which is a document behind the Uluru Statement from the Heart, a signature document, and it's an attack on Australian society. It's an attack on our liberal democracy. This just cannot continue. When I was a young bloke and my family and the other Aboriginal families fought for the 67 referendum, it was about equality. It was about being treated equal to every other Australian, and having the same opportunities and the same benefits that come out of being a citizen of this country. Now, the last few decades, we're getting on this this victimhood and grievance industry and this separation. The 67 referendum was about ending segregation and bringing us all together as a nation.
And I just think in this particular case, Warren, this would drive a jury, I think, to consider things in racial terms when they're judging a case, because for half the jurors then, they will know that they're there because the Aboriginal defendant is their guy, and the other half, they'll be thinking, well, it's your guy. And that produces a racial dynamic, even in a jury hearing, that I think is just the antithesis of democracy, of justice. We're supposed to be blind to all the circumstances, what kind of person, just the facts of the case, just focus on the facts. But here, race is injected.
Yeah, I don't know why they've even brought it up. What was their thinking in actually bringing it up? Look, the justice system, in this country is probably one of the best justice systems in the world. And, and it even admits sometimes it does make mistakes, and that's why we have appeal courts and that can, fix those mistakes and that. But, we've got a wonderful justice system, here in Australia. And, in fact, if I make a mistake one day, I hope I don't, and I'd rather go for our justice system than anywhere else. I don't know why they're going down this track. It's everything's about identity politics, and everything's about treating people different, and this has really got to stop.
Just this, but I mean, just a sign of where we're being launched to. I mean, an exercise to reconcile us. You were also at that meeting in Adelaide yesterday. What did you make of that abuse by the protesters?
Oh, mate. Look, it's shocking. This voice referendum is, they talk about dividing the country or unifying the country. It's definitely dividing it, and it's happened now. It's happening now. We've seen the incredible, insane madness talking and attacking people about race and everything. look, if people believe in the yes vote, prosecute their arguments and show us the evidence that it works. Don't go around abusing people and calling them names and telling Australians that they're a bunch of racists and this country's a dreadful country. Mate, you know, since the '67 referendum, we've been on this wonderful journey, and look at all the migrants that come here and worked hard and helped build this nation and worked with Aboriginals and other people that are here too. And look, I think we've got the best country in the world. And I'm getting a bit sick and tired of people running us down with all this nonsense. And what are we teaching people? Look at the anger and the swearing and the attack on ordinary Australian citizens who just want to go to an event to hear the arguments.
I couldn't agree with you more. Warren, tomorrow will be one good thing about this whole voice debate is that it's introduced us to a lot of new, young Aboriginal voices too that we hadn't heard before. I'm hoping you'll watch the program tomorrow because I've met one guy that I think will knock your socks off. Warren Mundine, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Andrew, and I look forward to my shoes and socks being knocked off.
Good on you, mate.